There. So today is the second part in the two-part series I'm doing on protein. Today I'm going to actually be talking about the different sources of protein that I think are good to use. So if you're going to go the vegetarian route, seeds are excellent. Pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds are super. Sesame seeds are really great. Flax seeds, chia seeds. There's a whole variety there. Now, if you are going to eat nuts, almonds, Brazil nuts are a wonderful source of selenium. Hazelnuts, walnuts, you just want to make sure that you don't eat too many in the course of a day because they actually are very hard for the liver to digest. Now there is a seed actually that you get in the kernel of an apricot that's very similar to an almond, and this is of course also excellent for you. In fact, has wonderful anti-cancer properties. Now soybeans are something that I know always top the list in terms of viable protein in a plant source, but you actually want to stay away from soybeans because the stock has been largely genetically modified, so this isn't good for you in any way, shape, or form. Wild rice is an excellent source of protein. You can actually soak it, and if you soak it for several days, just remember to keep changing the water. It'll kind of open up as though you have actually cooked it, so that's a great way to get your protein too. Spirulina is wonderful. Acre for acre, it produces more protein than soybean. It's got the 22 essential amino acids. It's got all of the B vitamins, including vitamin B12. So this is a fabulous source of protein. I take some of this every day. If you are actually going to be using beans, the process of cooking them, which is what most people do, actually renders them into a starch. So what you want to do is you want to take your beans. It's best to use this year's stock, and you'll soak them in 3 times the amount of water overnight, right? Now then decant the water, save it in the refrigerator, and lay the beans out on a damp towel. Cover them with another damp towel and keep them wet for a couple of days. And then what you'll see is that the beans will start to sprout just a little bit, like a 1 to 2 millimeter nib is enough. And at that point they're ready to cook. So you go into your fridge, you get that initial soak water, you want to boil it for about 12 minutes to kill any bacteria that may have grown in it, and then you want to reduce it after that 12 minutes to below the level of boil, right? You don't want it to boil in any way or even simmer. It's 190 degrees Celsius is where you would like the water temperature to be. Put the beans back in, and then you cook them for about an hour, and be sure not to overcook them. And then once you're done, you've got this really wonderful source of protein that you can then mix with your seeds and nuts, because this whole idea of plant complementarity is really the best way to get all the essential amino acids in one protein meal. Now, if you are going to go the meat route, it's really important not to cook the meat at a high temperature because that denatures the protein. I myself don't really eat any fish. I really like it, but you have to consider that there's so much radiation now in our environment, particularly in the oceans because of Fukushima. So this has really affected fish. You can still eat wild Alaskan salmon, and I do occasionally have that. I still do like to eat sardines, though, because they haven't grown large enough to bioaccumulate a lot of toxins. So those are just some of my considerations in terms of what to eat when it comes to eating protein. Again, the whole idea is this complementarity, right? Is that you've got the different small amounts of different types of proteins. 5 in a meal is great. 1 cooked, 4 raw is excellent. And when you get your protein in this way, consider that your body actually needs 30% less than the recommended daily amount. So you can actually get away with eating a lot less protein. And I think what you'll find is that your body will really benefit from this, and you will notice a difference if you start to eat protein in this way. Thank you.